Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video that I hope can help some of you out in the next couple of days. We are nearing New Year's Eve, and of course that is a party time for some people. People like to go out or at least go to like a house party, something like that. And at my work party this year, I actually did a lot of these things the night before, 2 nights before, to kind of prep myself in time for that party. And I thought, it'd be such a great idea is to kind of go over my pre-party tips for people so that they can get everything kind of in check before a big night, whether it be New Year's Eve or it's your birthday party or something like that, work event, high school reunion, whatever you want, and kind of give you my tips on how I get my skin ready for something like that. So I typically do stuff basically maybe 2 nights beforehand, and especially the night before. 2 nights before, I will probably just really make sure that I do my skincare as per usual, but nothing super crazy, just to make sure that my skin's starting to get ready to be prepped for the party. Now, the night before the party, I make sure that I dedicate a fair amount of time so that I can go through a few things with my skincare, especially so that it is ready for the next day. Now, of course, this is going to involve doing a mask, and it's also going to involve doing some form of exfoliation so that all of the dry skin can be off of my face, and then that way my makeup will apply flawlessly. Now, the mask, when I know that I need to exfoliate my skin but also not be too harsh on it, and then also kind of replenish it with things that it needs and fight breakouts, that I know that's a lot of things, but fortunately there's actually a mask that can do all of those things for me. And it is from Origins, and it is the Original Skin Retexturizing Mask with Rose Clay. Now this contains, I'll do the little blurb at the back so you can understand what the ingredients are, and then I'll kind of break down why this works for me. This powerful mask with Mediterranean rose clay, Canadian willow herb, Canadian, and exfoliating jojoba beads helps gently deep clean while refining skin's texture. The result, skin emerges anew, pores appear to vanish, radiance is restored, skin looks refreshed, flawless, feels silky smooth. Every single one of those things that is said on the back of this bottle are absolutely and utterly true. Now, what I will actually do with this, I will multi-mask, especially this year I actually did that, and I will multi-mask with something that's super hydrating. So I actually used a Peter Thomas Roth mask, and this was the Blue Marine Algae Intense Hydrating Mask. I put this in the areas where I tend to get very dry. I made sure to put it underneath my eyes, and I made sure to put it like around my mouth a little bit, not too far down, but just around the mouth area. And then I also can get dry on the sides of my nose, and like the skin can peel. And then I'm just trying to think, and sometimes I'll get a little bit of dryness like in my cheeks. But everywhere else I tend to right now not get a ton of dryness, so I don't have to worry about that. So I put that stuff on in the spots, and I actually use a flat foundation brush to put on all of my masks. It just seems to, it's kind of like a spa when I do it, plus my fingers don't get all mucked up. I do have long nails, so things can get caught underneath, and I just avoid it at all costs. And then the rest of my face that hasn't been covered, I put on this mask. It is pink in color, and you can see the beads on it. When you apply it to the skin, it is nice and cooling. It's a little bit tightening because of that clay, so the clay will start to dry down. And you leave it on, I usually leave it on for about 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, it says 10 minutes, but I'll sometimes go a little bit longer than that, and really make sure that the clay part is like sucking out any excess oils or clogged pores, things like that. And then what you do, obviously you just let that sit, and then when you go to rinse it off, the jojoba beads that are in it actually exfoliate your skin. So you get to do this like nice clay treatment on your skin, but then you also get to exfoliate with the same mask. You don't have to use another product. When I'm done using this mask, my skin feels so silky smooth, it is unreal. The willow herb will help with any breakouts basically that are happening, and then the clay will unclog all of your pores, and the jojoba beads exfoliate. So it's basically like it's meeting all of my needs, and it doesn't dry out my skin as well. It also has some nice like oils in it, so it has grapefruit oil, lavender oil, some other flower oils, chestnut seed extract, but basically this mask is my go-to whenever my skin is acting crazy or whenever I want my skin to look super, super, super nice. Okay, so after I have done the mask, the multi-masking to exfoliate my skin and unplug all the pores, that kind of stuff, I will do some extractions to get rid of any blackheads or any more gunk that's left in my pores. And then I have to go in with my skincare. So I'll go with my usual skincare. I'm not going to go through that right now. If you'd like to see a video of my skincare routine, please let me know down below. I can easily do that for you. But there's a couple things, and by a couple I really mean one ingredient that I have to use the night before a big event, and it's glycolic acid. This is a chemical exfoliant, so if the physical exfoliant wasn't enough, I also go in with a chemical one, just to make sure that all of the dead skin is absolutely removed. Now these don't irritate my skin, so I can do the physical and the chemical exfoliator in the same night and I don't have any issues, but if you have very sensitive skin, choose one over the other, whatever works best for your skin. So I always go in with my Neostrata Glycolic Renewal. This is the 5%. I actually prefer the 10% now just because my skin's gotten used to it, but this is by far my most favorite glycolic acid containing product. It works wonders. You can feel it tingle the first couple times you use it, and then your skin stops that tingle, but it still continues to work. And then I always make sure too to have a really good eye cream because I don't want my under eyes to be dry. So I go in with the Mario Badescu Glycolic Eye Cream. This stuff is so heavy duty that I will put it on at night, and when I wake up in the morning I can still feel cream underneath my eyes because it is so thick and it's just like my skin just can't absorb it all. So it's just like super plumping it up, but it also contains glycolic acid, so it will kind of retexturize the under eye area, but it also does a ton of hydration. The first ingredient on this is vegetable oil. So if you have very oily skin and you don't want your under eyes to get extra oily, don't use this. There's also water, there's olive leaf extract. There is mineral oil in this, so if you don't like mineral oil in your skin, then avoid that at all costs. Beeswax, some esters, cocoa seed butter, and then glycolic acid. So this is, the glycolic's a little bit lower down in the ingredients, which means it's not a huge percentage and it's not super strong, so it won't irritate the eye area. But you can see it has the cocoa butter, it has vegetable oil, it has mineral oil, it has olive leaf extract, it has beeswax, all in this little tub. It is so good. I absolutely love this stuff. But yeah, and just a side note on the glycolic acid, I know I promised a couple months ago that I would be doing a science, the beauty of science, science of beauty, whichever way, probably science of beauty, and my first video would be glycolic acid. I know that I haven't done it yet. It's coming in the new year. It takes a lot longer to research this, plus other videos got in the way, but I digress. So after I've done my skincare, plus the ensuring that there's a glycolic in there, I will put this mask on over top to make sure that I'm ultra hydrating my skin, and it is the Origins Drink Up 10-minute mask to quench skin's thirst. So this is basically a 10-minute mask that I use as an overnight mask instead. They do have an overnight one. I really like this one in the way that it performs. It smells like fuzzy peaches, which is so nice. It's like candy all over my face. It super hydrates the skin without breaking it out, without making me look greasy, but rather just like plumping it up and bringing hydration back into my skin. But yeah, this stuff is really great if you have dehydrated skin or dry skin. This will work wonders, and you can just use it as a 10-minute mask and tissue it off after, or you can leave it on overnight. The masking is not done, and I'm not even joking. There's one more mask that I use the night before an event, and it is the Paula's Choice Radiance Renewal Mask. This restores radiance and visibly improves skin tone. It says to apply at least once weekly or as often as desired as the last step in your evening skincare routine. I have done a blog post about this, so I will link that down below, but basically this is the last step that I will put on my skin. It does have chemical exfoliants in it, so I am really making sure that all of the dead skin on my face is just absolutely gone. It's not heavily scented at all. I do notice that my skin just looks a little bit more refreshed when I use this at night. Just really nice, doesn't really add to the hydration or anything like that. It's just, kind of like a booster. I find that it kind of makes everything work just that little bit better and kind of enhances the results that you would see. Okay, so we're at the day of the event. Finally, after all those damn masks that I did the night before. I'm telling you though that my skin is always really nice the next day and it's super hydrated and I never have to worry about it. I ensure the day of the event that I use all of my skincare as I normally would, and I make sure that I use a nice hydrating cream. It doesn't matter which one, just as long as it's going to hydrate my skin and keep it hydrated throughout the entire day, that's good with me. One of the few things that I ensure that I do on the day, other than just use my skincare properly, I will do a lip scrub. This one is the Perk Pucker Up lip scrub, and this is grapefruit flavored. It smells so good that you basically want to eat it, but you're not allowed to. It literally says don't eat it on the thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so this basically is a sugar scrub. It has sugar, coconut oil, sweet almond oil, pomegranate oil, grapefruit oil, vitamin E, beetroot powder, and jojoba oil, and rose oil. This stuff is so good at just getting rid of all of the dry bits on your lips, and then that way your lipstick will apply flawlessly. Itchy nose. But yeah, I always make sure to do this before if I'm going to be going straight from work to an event, then I will make sure that this is in the morning. But if I'm going to like redo my makeup, I always make sure to do this like just before I do my makeup, just so that my lips don't dry out at all by the time I actually apply my lipstick. And then my last tip for pre-party beauty tips, in terms of like what you can do to make sure your skin is looking fantastic and you don't have any issues there. Water. Please just drink as much water as you can leading up to a party. I'm really bad with drinking water, but I find that it does help out my skin, and you want to make sure that you're hydrated, and then hopefully it will also prevent a hangover the next day after the party. If you're well hydrated, you don't have to worry about some of the side effects of a hangover, hopefully. And then the last thing that I really make sure that I do, I always try and make a plan of my makeup that I'm going to be doing for the most part. Sometimes I don't, I just kind of wing it. If you don't feel comfortable doing that though, then don't do it. My best advice would be to, a couple days prior to the event, do the makeup that you kind of are thinking about doing before you go to bed. And then that way you can wash it off before you go to sleep, and you've practiced already, but you haven't like worn it out if something's messed up. You can just play around at home before the event a few days before. I would even suggest a week if you're very nervous of how your makeup's going to turn out. Make sure to write down the products that you use, and even if you need to like put on your phone, if you have like the microphone, kind of like the audio recording, you could have that running and you could just kind of talk to yourself and make notes, and then that way you kind of have it on record of like what you did, what products you used, things like that, just to make it a little bit more easygoing and stress-free on the day of the party. So that's it. Those are my pre-party tips. I hope that you all have an amazing New Year's in the next couple of days. You should see me in a couple days doing a makeup look. I will be filming it once I'm back home from Christmas with my parents. It's past Christmas time though now that you're seeing this, but it's okay. But yeah, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to follow me on social media, all of which are linked down below as per usual. And if you have any pre-party tips, please leave them down below, because I'm sure that we could all learn a few things from one another. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Bye!